This is the Our Voice 360 podcast, our perspectives, our way, keeping you in the know while you're on the go. This podcast was created with you in mind. On Our Voice 360, we'll give you inspiration, sports, business and leadership tips, Black history, and entertainment. This is a show built from our perspectives. So if you're ready to be entertained, inspired, laugh a little, be informed, and enlightened, tune in now to Our Voice 360. Let's go! Hey everyone, and welcome to the show Our Voice 360. Our perspectives, our ways. I'm your man Chad Bumgarner, 1/3 of the trio here, and I have with me my man Pete Hunt.
What's good, family?
And my man Mike Brown, the Don Dada.
What's happening?
Now y'all know how it is by now. Let's get into it.
As always, our show is sponsored by Elect Graphics and Photography. Allow your visions to become reality. And CDB Consulting. Great leadership equals great results. How are you leading? And if you would like to become a sponsor for the Our Voice 360 podcast, please don't hesitate to send us an email at ourvoice360@gmail.com, and we'll get back to you as soon as possible. Mike, what's going on with that inspiration, brother?
All right, so check it. Today, we'll keep it real quick, real simple. The things that are in your life, the people that are in your life, the things that are in your core group that surrounds you, treat them as you would want to be treated. Because don't wait until something is taken away from you to finally appreciate its value.
Oh, wow.
So basically you saying give them their flowers while they still alive.
Yeah.
Understand that.
Because, you know, people have a lot of times people take a lot of things for granted. You know what I'm saying?
That's
and
true.
then in the end, you crying, wishing you woulda, coulda. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So just, you know, learn to appreciate people while you have them.
Yeah,
I agree with that, man. I just had a good friend of mine, 20 plus years, man. We met in college, and he just reached out the other day and expressed that his mother had passed. And I'm not going to say it's funny you should mention that, but it is quite ironic that you would mention that today. It is very important, man. I think we take a lot of people in our lives for granted, just assuming they're going to be here the next day.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of times we assume we're going to be here the next day.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But no day is guaranteed. We all know that. And especially with this pandemic, it should really be a wake-up call to really treasure and value the people that you love and that you hold dear to you. And not only treasure them, but tell them, let them know how it is you feel about them and what they mean to you. I mean, I appreciate that.
Yeah, that's the key, Kings, is that we tell each other how we appreciate each other and how much we love each other. That's bigger than anything.
It is.
I mean, we can buy each other gifts and we can do this and we can do that, but it's something about somebody actually speaking those words of appreciation and love that really hits to the heart. It really gets to the heart of the matter, man. And Mike, that's big, man. That's extremely important, man. As far as, you know, letting the people that we love and, like I said, that we value the most, let them know that we care. Let them know how important they are to us.
Yeah,
Even though they owe you and they don't cash app you like everybody else do, but you know, you still let them know.
sometimes they got Zelle.
Sometimes they got Venmo.
You know what I mean? But yeah, man, I mean, you know, it was something that was just on my spirit. You know what I mean? And it was just because, you know, like you said, man, right now with this pandemic, man, people are losing a lot of people, a lot of loved ones that, you know, you think or you thought was going to be there.
Yeah.
So
And you don't ever want to have that regret, like, dang, I wish I could have told her how I felt or told him how I felt, or, you know, let him know how much he meant to me or she meant to me.
That's a hard pill to swallow when you lose that opportunity.
Yeah.
Because we take for granted that we just assume people will be there, but that was heavy, Mike.
Yeah.
Y'all know I try to put some respect on it when I do it.
And you did, my brother. We always appreciate you, man.
Yes, sir.
But up next, we are moving on to the sports brief. Sports brief. Pete, what's happening, man, with the sports brief, man?
Man, finally, some sports are here.
Yes, sir.
As we are recording this podcast today, the NBA tips off tonight.
Mm-hmm.
We have 2 games tonight to start off the quote unquote regular season to the 8-game regular season to get into the playoffs, and we have the Utah Jazz versus the New Orleans Pelicans, and also the big matchup between the LA Lakers and the LA Clippers tonight. And I'm going to start with the Clippers and the Lakers. The Lakers should win this game. You know, Bron, AD, those guys, they picked up J.R. Smith a few weeks back, you know, to a couple guys said that they were not going to play. Avery Bradley said he was not going to play. Then Rondo gets hurt. He's going to be out 8 weeks. So they go pick up J.R. Smith from free agency. J.R. hadn't played in a year. We hadn't seen J.R. since he got that rebound. Yeah. Championship, got the rebound and dribbled back and had LeBron looking crazy. we hadn't seen J.R. since then. And they also picked up, the Lakers also picked up, and the Lakers also picked up Dion Waiters, which should help them in their backcourt. The Clippers tonight will be shorthanded. Montrezl Harrell will not play tonight. Lou Williams will not play tonight. And we've all heard the story about Lou Williams going down there to Magic City.
Yeah.
After leaving the bubble to go to a funeral of a loved one, he had to stop in and get him some wings.
Yeah, he said he went to go get dinner.
Yeah.
All places.
From Magic City, but you know the Magic City wings are the bomb now.
Well, most strip clubs have the best.
Yeah.
Food. I ain't gonna lie. I remember back in the day, it was one right here in this town. I used to go there for lunch.
Mm-hmm. Come on, last week?
No, what, last week? No, boy, this years ago.
But yeah, but
long time ago.
Long time ago.
Yeah, they used to have lasagna and everything. Ain't nothing like lasagna with somebody gyrating.
Oh wow.
Go ahead, Pete.
Okay, yeah. Let me get back to Lou Williams decided to stop in at Magic City and get some wings that's named after him, coincidentally.
Mm-hmm. Right.
And so he has to quarantine for 10 days, and he'll miss the Clippers' first 2 games of this new regular season. Mm-hmm. So he'll play in the last 6 if he clears all protocol, and he's negative on all COVID tests. But it's good to have the NBA back. The scrimmages are over, and it's just good to sit down and be able to watch some good basketball. I know these guys will come out. They'll be a little rusty tonight. With the Pelicans, we're still waiting to see if Zion's going to play tonight. There was no word that he has been cleared to practice today, but there is no word as of yet if he was going to play in the game tonight. So we'll be looking for Zion to play in, hopefully play in that first game. Moving on to baseball. COVID-19 has creeped her ugly head up again. If you haven't heard, the Miami Marlins, 19 people tested positive after they played the Phillies in Philadelphia. So after they left and went back to Miami, the Yankees were supposed to play the Philadelphia the next day. The Yankees said, "We want no parts of that. Right. We're not going into your locker room. Yeah, we're not going into your clubhouse. No, until you get yourself straightened out." Mm-hmm. And so now the Marlins season has been put on hold until this Sunday. And even after they put them on hold, 2 more people have tested positive in their organization.
Seems like they might need to do the whole bubble thing like the NBA did. Get all the teams and
And what's so funny about that, Chad? They tried to do that, and the players didn't want it. The players said no because they thought they were going to be away from their family too much, and other things. They want to be close to their family. They didn't want to be in one spot. They wanted to travel. So the players actually said no, and now it may come to the detriment of the season this year because as of this morning, 5 Philadelphia Phillies members have tested positive for COVID after playing Miami or the Marlins last week. So now we have 2 teams that have multiple cases of COVID now in baseball. So now baseball is in kind of a quandary. Okay, if we have to stop the Marlins from playing and we have to stop the Phillies from playing, okay, what are we going to do now?
Yeah.
Right.
Do we shut the season? Do we just tell them they can't play anymore? Because if they stop the Phillies from playing, that's going to put them at both these teams at a distinct disadvantage down the line as far as total games being played and their records. So I'm not really sure what they can do. I don't. I've seen a lot of commentators talk about scrapping what they're doing now and going into a like a round robin tournament instead of playing these games out.
Right.
Just going into it like a tournament based on maybe last year's record or whatever the case may be, and do a little round robin tournament and do it that way if these teams continue to have positive COVID cases.
Right.
So like I said, baseball is in a tricky little situation right now. But for those guys on the Marlins and the Phillies, I pray for those guys. I hope those guys come out of this, healthy and able to get back on the field real soon.
Most definitely.
Yeah, and the last story I want to cover tonight is from Mike Chad, a local guy from where we're from, Caleb Farley, who's from Maiden, North Carolina, went to Maiden High School, was a stellar high school prospect, stellar high school player in the state of North Carolina, has multiple state quarterback records in the state. He signed with Virginia Tech, became a starter off the gate, off the rip. Off the rip, he was a starter as a true freshman. Was injured in 2017 and missed the season because of a torn ACL. But he has become the first college player to say that he's not going to play because of COVID concerns. And this guy, he's a big-time player, all ACC talent. As of right now, he is projected to be a mid-first round pick, possibly even the first defensive back taken off the board in the 2021 draft. So that is really big for this young man to, have the guts to say, okay, my health is more important than this football.
Yeah.
Right.
Because at the end of the day, if I go out here and get COVID and get sick, and God forbid something happened that I'm debilitated, I can't go back and play because of lung issues or whatever, or even worse than that, pass away, it's not worth it.
No.
And plus, he's going to be a first round pick as it stands right now. He's going to be a first round pick. So why risk it?
I agree.
Why risk it? And and on top of that, I don't really understand a lot of these college guys that they know they're going to be first round picks. Why are they risking it? I really don't understand. What do you guys think about it as far as that concerned? You know you're going to be a top pick, and that you would, risk your health, not getting paid. It's different from the NFL. It'd be one thing if I'm getting a check.
Yeah.
But I'm not getting a check. I'm not getting it. I mean, this going to school stuff. People say that. Don't nobody care about nothing about that. That's not proper payment for putting my body on the line.
Yeah, put my life on the line.
Exactly. So what do you guys think about Caleb's decision of not playing?
I think it's an awesome decision, man. And I think a lot more people should follow in his footsteps, because since this thing is in such an uproar right now, nobody knows who's going to get it, you know what I'm saying? I mean, I don't blame him. I wouldn't put my life on the line either.
I think this is short and sweet. I agree with the young man's decision. You cannot buy health. That's one thing in life you cannot buy. And whoever's in this young man's ear is doing the right thing. I think he should keep them in his ear and in his corner to help him continue to make the right decisions. And I'm with Mike. I would hope that a lot of the other athletes that are deciding to go to college to play ball, especially if they know they are a blue chip player or a top, pick. You know what I'm saying? You come first. Their school does not come first. What their school wants does not come first. Your health is your wealth, and that's all that matters. You're no good to a team, like what Pete said, if you pass away or if you have long-term health effects. If you catch it, I mean, one thing we know about this virus is that we don't know.
Exactly.
It's predictable. You know what I'm saying? You have people that so-called are so healthy, but then they're on a defibrillator about to die. Then you have people who live an average life, maybe not eat so well or do so well, and they have asymptomatic issues. There's no pattern with this virus. We still have a lot to learn about this virus. And until we get a better handle on it and what we can do to avoid it, or what we can do if we get it to diminish long-term effects, why put yourself in that situation? If you're good now, you're going to be good 6 months from now, 8 months from now. I would suggest that these young men and women that are top players to bow out, stay in shape, keep eating right, healthy, take care of your bodies. And when this pandemic, hopefully, prayerfully, dies down, that they'll be ready to rock and roll and really contribute to, that college.
Yeah, and that's what Caleb was basically said, that, he's going to take, this season off. He's going to train and prepare for the upcoming draft, and stay in shape and be prepared for NFL future. But like I said, I just don't understand these young men, putting themselves in this risky situation. When you have real dollars on the line, and I just don't get it. Now, if you're a guy that may go undrafted, 6th, 7th round pick, okay, I understand that you really want to play, you want to show your wares to, try to increase your draft stock. I totally understand that. But for these guys that, 1st round, 2nd round, even 3rd round guys that that you're going to be slotted in those, especially those first 3 rounds, I'm sorry, you're not going to see me. It's just weighing options, and some guys are not willing to step out on that because of what people are going to say, or fans are going to criticize them, this, that, and the third. Which, okay, I really don't care what you think about me.
Exactly.
At the end of the day, and that was one of the things that Caleb said, that Caleb Farley said, was he saw some NFL guys. It's quite a few NFL guys that's bowing out this year, saying that, okay, my family is too important to me. Like a Marquise Goodwin, who said, me and my wife have had 3 miscarriages. We finally have our daughter now. We finally had a child. You think I'm going to risk her life after what we've been through?
You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, to me, the way I see it, it comes down to your morals, because it's a tough situation. You got owners who have teams. On those teams are individuals. Several of those individuals, or a lot of those individuals, are worth a lot of money to you. But at the same time, if you don't put them on the field or the court to play, then on the back end, you stand to lose a lot of money with the TV contracts that you have set up and other advertisements that play during these games. So as an owner or position of authority, you have to weigh these options. What's more important to me as an owner? Is it my bottom line to get this money and put these guys and these women at risk? Or is it to eat this right now
and protect your investment,
and protect my employees, and come back prayerfully the next year when this pandemic hopefully has died down quite a bit to where it's at a safe level, and then find ways to recoup that money, or just chalk it up as, you know what, We just have to take an L this year at the expense of taking care of our employees and making sure that they're safe and that they're happy. Hopefully, I hope they choose the latter, because that will speak volumes to the employees. So going forward, you have a tighter connection. I know it sounds a little tongue-in-cheek, but you have a better connection or rapport with your employees, because you're showing them that, hey, I stand to lose or gain millions of dollars, but I choose to put you guys first because I care about you guys' health, and I want to see you healthy and happy, just be regardless of the fact if we had a bad year.
Well, I excuse me. I think, along with you guys, I think Caleb is making a great decision. I think he's making the best decision for him, and and I pray for that young man, and I hope that everything works out right. He stays healthy, and going into the 2021 season, he is a high draft pick like he is slated to be. It's good to see people from your hometown or your community make it on this high of a level, and I'm extremely proud of that young man. Coached against that young man quite a bit in when I was coaching against Maiden High School. So it's good to see these young guys in our area, in our community, striving and doing great things.
Indeed.
Yeah. And that's it for me and the sports brief. Chad, what you got on the leadership end, man?
Hey, man, before I get into the leadership and business tip, I want to quickly give honor and respect and tribute to Brother C.T. Vivian, civil rights leader, and also John Lewis for all of their works and their dedication and their life to trying to make people of color's lives better, not only in America, but around the world. I got a chance to watch some of the processions for John Lewis and the wonderful things that people have been saying about him. I think it's also sad, but I'm not going to get too deep into it. I think it's sad that that the president of this great country would not take 5 minutes to acknowledge the death of such a giant and effective civil rights leader, and better yet, human being. I think it's very classless of him not to at least acknowledge this man's life and his passing and what he's done for all people, not just black folks. So I'm utterly disgusted with our so-called president, the one that's sitting in the office. I will respect the office of the presidency, but I cannot respect the person who holds that title right now.
Exactly.
So with that being said, we're going to get right into it. Thank you, my brother, and welcome to this week's edition of Chad's Leadership Corner, where you will get tips and insight on business and leadership. So with that, we're going to go ahead and jump right into it. And first up, I've got on the business tip. This is cool, man. I really enjoy this. Tech startup CEO creates social directory to promote Black-owned businesses around the world. I hope I'm not butchering this brother's name, although I feel like I may be. His name is Ramesh Budhoo, Budhoo. He created an app called Black Nation in 2018 and fully launched it in January 2019. It's a business directory and a social app for Black-owned businesses and their customers. This is him talking. He's saying that people in and out of the country, our community, want to support Black-owned brands, but have an extremely difficult time locating them. And I truly agree with that. Black Nation is a social business directory and social media platform. You can hang out, find businesses to support, but also have the chance to win gifts, share updates, stories, and much more. So it's a basic all-in-one app, which I plan to download after this segment. Black Nation is much more than just a Black business directory and a basic social media platform. Its main mission is to help promote and market Black businesses. The purpose of the app is Black empowerment and Black ownership, but most importantly, Black unity. Thus the name Black Nation, said Ramesh. It's a free app that enables users from near and far to locate and work with other businesses owned, of course, by Black individuals. Now, as a consumer, if you want to use the app, simply search for the kind of businesses or business you need out of the categories that they have listed. The most recent update allows business owners to participate in giveaways for their customers. Unlike other platforms, The giveaway is easy to run. The app handles every aspect of the contest and giveaways, from creation to selecting and notifying the winners. The giveaways can be global, or the business owner can even specify the location of the contestants. So big ups to my man Ramesh for creating such a wonderful tool that I didn't even know about, but I plan on using it, and I'm hoping people watching this will use this as well for Black-owned businesses, to support Black-owned businesses. There are a lot of businesses out there that we're doing, but the thing is, we just don't know where they are. And it is possible to shop all Black if we just take a little extra time and find out where they are and how to connect with them.
That puts me in the mind of I guess it was back in the 60s. They had a thing called the Green Book. You ever heard of that?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, where it had all the Black hotels and places where they could stay at if they came in town, stuff like that.
Did you know you can get that on Amazon?
Yes, sir. I just looked it up.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it's about, I guess, $7 to $9. It was very effective back in the day, where it was where you had to be careful where you're driving and where you laying your head when you travel long distance.
Yes, sir.
But moving on to the leadership aspect.
Well, Chad, one more time. What was the name of that again?
Yes, the name of the app is called Black Nation.
Black Nation, okay.
Black Nation by Ramesh Badu. Yep. The leadership aspect, we're going to jump into that. Now, there are 3 unquestionable behaviors separating great leaders from mere bosses. Or should I say, servant leaders from self-serving leaders.
Okay.
All right. So the 3 unquestionable behaviors is how feedback is viewed and handled, the passing of the torch, and how people and emotions are handled. So number 1, how feedback is viewed and handled. Self-serving leaders deem feedback as a threat to their power and position, especially if it's the negative type. Self-serving leaders on the servant leaders, on the other hand, view feedback as a gift to improve upon their leadership and how they interact with their team. So we're looking at 2 different types of leadership, completely on different spectrums. One is self-serving, trying to preserve oneself and how they see themselves in that position. The other one is self-serving. How can I best help others? Or what can I do to make my team more successful? The second, the second unquestionable behavior to distinguish the 2 is the passing of the torch. Now, you have self-serving leaders that have no reference point when it comes to building up other leaders. They're not thinking about somebody coming after them. They're trying to keep that position for as long as they can. They feel like, after me, there is no other. I'm it, which is the detriment to a lot of organizations and companies. On the other hand, you have servant leaders who are looking into the future by identifying future leaders to groom. They ensure that a successor generation is in place, of course, equipped and ready to roll when the seasons change or when the current leader's shelf life is over. And then the third unquestionable behavior is how people and emotions are handled. Now, this one is really crucial, and it determines exactly what kind of leader you are. Now, again, self-serving leaders are too busy reacting to people and getting caught up in situational dramas, right? Servant leaders don't react to people or situations. They respond to them. Big difference. React, respond.
Oh, yeah.
Different. They respond by being quick to listen and understand and slow to anger. And if you listen to that real closely, it sounds like it's right out of the good book. And even slower to judge. When things go south real fast, servant leaders apply self-awareness and won't get riled up or let their emotions sabotage their thought process. So they're self-aware. We talked about that last week, emotional intelligence. They take a step back, they assess what's happened, and get clarity before their next move. Whatever the next move is, integrity dictates the desire to end conflict, help others, and restore things back to a peaceful and productive state. So again, the 3 unquestionable behaviors that separates bosses from great leaders is how you view feedback, how you handle feedback, how you pass the torch on succession, and then finally how people and emotions are handled. How do you handle people and emotions? Are you self-aware? Are you able to contain, and regulate your emotions so that you can deal with people properly? Or do you just fly off the cuff and say the first thing that's on your mind and create more chaos than what you started with? So that's my information and insight from the leadership and business side. What are you guys' thoughts and opinions before we move forward?
I think, like we said, it might have been last week or the week before that, we were talking about, have you have to be proactive and not reactive. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And that definitely makes the difference in the people that work under you. You know what I'm saying?
I agree.
Because how you act determines how they work
and how they respond.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It does. I mean, if you act out of character, if you act off the cuff, I mean, and like Pete always say, this is the same information that you can take into your family life and with your friends and everywhere else. How you respond, or how you react to somebody is pretty much how they're going to respond or react back to you. But if your main goal is to create some type of peace and end conflict, then you'll take the time and not react, but respond, so that you can get a better response back, or more accurate and better feedback than just two people in their feelings trying to hurt one another.
Yeah, get a better understanding of what's going on.
Yeah, and in my case, different supervisors I've worked on under, I can look at two different situations. What you were talking about, Chad. I've worked and had supervisors, or a supervisor, have that mentality of, okay, nobody else can have what I have. I'm gonna be here as long as, my mindset is ego. My mindset is only me. Look, this is the focus. I'm the focus. And if you don't like what I say, X, Y, and Z, or you can't come to me with ideas, because guess what? I already know.
Right. I got all the answers.
Exactly. And then I've had people in leadership that push me forward in that company and move up the ladder. Okay, Pete, if you do X, Y, and Z, you can get here. You know what I'm saying? You can get to this level, this, that, and the third. But we've all encountered, if you've worked long enough, if you work jobs and not had your own business and work for yourself, you've had to work for somebody. We've all had superiors on both ends of the spectrum.
Right.
On both ends of the spectrum. And like you said, Chad, if you're that type of leader, that type of supervisor that has compassion and empathy, we talked about this a couple weeks ago, about having compassion and empathy for your employees. I mean, you are going to go a whole lot further, and your company is going to be a whole lot more successful if you're not one of those supervisors or leaders that browbeats his or her employees.
Yeah,
that makes for a bad workplace.
I agree.
A bad work environment. So, like I said, if we've all worked under different type of supervisors and leaders, and I think that we glean more from the supervisors and the leaders that are more empathetic to our situation.
Yeah,
as employees.
True. That's true. That is so true.
Yeah.
Well, you know what, guys? That's it for me. Thank you for tuning in. If you like any leadership development training, team building, diversity training, please do not hesitate to contact me at 678-571-2773. Or you can reach me email, chad@chadbumgarner.co. All right? And remember, great leadership equals great results. How are you leading? And with that, Mike, What you got for us today on that Black History? Please drop some more jewels today. You never disappoint, brother.
Hey, I ain't gonna start today. All right, today we're gonna be speaking on a guy by the name of Philip Downing, who was born March 22nd, 1857, Providence, Rhode Island. His father was a successful businessman and abolitionist, as well was his grandfather. Back in those days, if you wanted to send mail, you had to go to your local post office, wherever that may be at in your vicinity. But on October 27th, 1891, Downing's patent for the first street letterbox made it possible to leave mail in a high metal box frame in front of your house, which is now known as a mailbox, to keep you from having to go all the way to the post office. It was built with a hinge that would close automatically to protect your mail from the weather, as well as thieves. In 1917, Downing was issued a patent as well for the handheld envelope moisturizer. Yeah, that's not it. And the following year after that, he was issued a patent for a new type of desktop notepad.
Wait a minute. Desktop what?
Notepad that you write on.
Sticky notes. I'll be damned.
It's you know, he eventually settled in Boston after living across New England and Washington, D.C. And he passed away June 7th, 1934, at the age of 77. So every time y'all drop that mail in your mailbox and put the little flag up, y'all think about Philip. Mr. Downing did that.
Man, our people are great, boy. Our people are great, man.
You know, it's things like that that you never think about. Somebody had to invent the mailbox.
And we take it for granted.
Take it for granted.
Wow. Our people are great, man. I'm gonna say, man, good gracious. It makes no sense. It boggles my mind.
And his family still owns that patent to this day.
I hope so.
For the mailbox.
I should hope so.
My goodness.
Man, when I read that thing, I almost teared up, bro.
Hey, you know what, man?
Everybody got a mailbox. You know what I'm saying?
Mike drop a Black History moment. It's like at the end, you just got to sit there. You ever had, I'll tell Mike this off air, you ever had some Alabama, I call it Alabama bacon. That real thick piece of bacon that you just chew on all day? You ain't never had that?
Had some fat back like that.
Mike dropped that Black History. That's you just want to sit down and just kind of think about.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Not only what they did, but the era in which they lived in and how hard it must have been just to get that patent as a black man.
Yeah.
Because for the longest, we weren't allowed to have patents. The master took the patent. You know what I'm saying? So to be able to accomplish something like that, and we look at it as something small, but then it really isn't.
Oh no, it's nothing small now.
And then doing it in that time frame, that's huge.
The street letterbox. That's
right. AKA
the mailbox.
The mailbox.
That's the man.
So had it not been for Philip, a lot of y'all wouldn't have got that stimulus check.
Or the food stamp card.
Or the stamp card. I know on the first of the month you wish you didn't invent it because the bills come, but that's all right.
I know
that's all right.
Send it to the P.O. box.
Yeah. But that's, it's crazy, man.
I'm gonna say it one more time before we get off.
Say it again.
Man, our people great, man. Our people are great. Man,
hey, boy.
Every week, Mikey, man. Every week, Mikey, bring it, dog. Oh man,
never disappoint.
Man, I'm just, it's funny because after I found it and I read over it, I went out and checked the mail, And I was just smiling, going to the mailbox, looking down the street. Everybody has Philip Downing and don't even know it. You know what I'm saying?
Stuff like this need to be known. No matter how
Yeah.
small or great, they need to know.
That's it.
Because for people to say that we didn't contribute thousands of years ago or up to the present 200-300 years is foolish.
It's just
Yeah.
things that's that's just something that you don't hear or you don't learn in school.
That
even
because we're too busy learning his story,
yeah.
not history, but his story.
And I'm gonna tell you what an old man told me. History is nothing more than a lie that's agreed on by 2 or more people.
Sometimes.
Sometimes.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, what the history we study, I would say that's 95% accurate. Because here we are in 2020, not to take this thing off the railroad, but because of what you just said, Mike, here we are in 2020, and we still have a Columbus Day.
Yeah. He ain't find nothing. How you gonna find something
It's
somebody already
well
did?
documented.
Yeah.
You can't find what already exists.
That's like me going in the parking lot at Walmart and finding somebody else's car and say it's mine.
Right. I discovered Honda. What?
I discovered this Accord.
Yeah.
Right.
It's
Yeah.
mine now.
This 95 Accord.
So according to me, it belongs to me.
It's crazy.
See how that look? See how dumb that sound?
Exactly. When you say that, man,
And that's what we were taught. That's what
Right.
we were taught.
Yeah.
and the information has been there all along. It ain't like the information just popped up.
Let me tell you something. I say it again. My uncle, my grandparents always told me, you want to hide something, put it in a book. Because the average person is not going to read it or research it to find out what exactly it came from. They're going to take whatever somebody says and run with it.
Well, I tell you what, I thank God for technology, because now you have the ability to cross-reference a lot of stuff at the touch of a button.
Yeah.
And and let me say this, don't just go to Google.
Right.
You know what
Now,
I'm
why
saying?
say cross-reference? You got to look at multiple things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Go to different sources.
What you gonna say?
I also just to throw this in there, I do a lot of philosophy studying, and the guy said one time, if you read a book and you don't do research on the author, do you really know the book?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So that you understand that their train of thought when they wrote the book. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, y'all know me. Sometimes I just get deep like that, brother.
Mm-hmm. Telling you, man. We need it though. We
yes, sir.
need it, man. For those people that are gonna watch this, especially people that look like us.
Sexy.
Yeah, we need.
Pete didn't see that coming.
I didn't see that one coming at all. They need to know.
Yeah.
We need to know about what we have done and what we have accomplished, which a lot of us already know, but a lot of folk don't.
Yeah.
A lot of folk don't know, Mike. And man, what you bring every week, man, is extremely important, man. I'm telling you, man.
I want you to, especially, I want people to start walking with their head high, man. Chest out, shoulders back. Be proud of who you are.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I tell especially young people that I deal with all the time. Remember, find out what cloth you are cut from.
Yeah.
Look, we wasn't we wasn't slaves all this time.
Uh-uh.
Now we were brought over here as slaves, but before we were brought here, we were kings and queens and cut of royal cloth.
And
That's
doctors and
And
architects.
lawyers, exactly.
Farmers.
Exactly. So I like to tell young people all the time that look like us that, when you really go and dig deep into who you really are as a black person and what you're cut from, what cloth you're cut from, you would change the outlook of who you are and what you think about your fellow man and your fellow woman.
And how you handle yourself
Man.
in public and in private.
I'm trying to tell you, man. And that's what gets lost in And translation, and why a lot of young people and older people don't understand that why would we act this way if we knew what we are?
Right.
Not what we were, what we are.
And I'm gonna tell y'all something. And I'm not trying to jump off subject, but what we're talking about right now, I was actually gonna text you guys last night. I was watching a video on YouTube, and it was just a bunch of people that look like us on there just fighting. I mean, it was like they had a whole 15 minutes of just idiots fighting. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm thinking I got upset for a minute because I was thinking the same thing. Like, do you see what you're doing? Do you see how you're looking? Do you know who you are?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And that, I mean, it just like, you know, like Pete said, man, you know, look at the cloth cut from.
As always, man, we appreciate the knowledge that you bring.
Yes, sir.
We appreciate you bringing stuff to help uplift us and remind us of not who we were, but who we are.
Yes,
Yeah.
sir.
It's just a matter of waking back up.
Mhm.
That's right.
Mhm.
So again, we appreciate it. As always, you know, you make me want to stand a little taller, walk a
sir.
little stronger, man. I appreciate that.
Ah,
So with that being said, we're moving into the "You Know How We Do" segment of the show, where you hear news and updates about us in the entertainment industry, as well as Black achievements. And so with that, let's go ahead and dive right on into the entertainment side. Unfortunately, it's not bad news, but it's concerning news. So I'm asking all the prayer warriors to send your prayers up. According to TMZ, Biz Markie has been in the hospital, Maryland hospital, for 4 or 5 weeks now. So, like I said before, prayers up for the hip hop legend, Juice Crew rapper Biz Markie, as he is in the hospital battling an undisclosed illness and has been for weeks. Fortunately, it's not COVID-19. However, it seems that the Biz is fighting for his life. Now, TMZ reports Biz rep tells TMZ the illness is not coronavirus, and went on to say the trigger for the hospitalization is that he suffers from type 2 diabetes. He's currently in the Maryland area hospital, and the status of his condition is unclear, but appears to be serious. The rep also told TMZ that he is receiving the best care from an amazing team of medical professionals, and we remain positive about his outcome. Now, back in 2014, Biz talked about his diabetes diagnosis and how he lost 140 pounds in order to get himself under control. He went from 385 to 244. He made a point of saying he did not do this the quick fix way with a lap band. He did it the old-fashioned way. So again, prayers up for my man Biz. We praying for you, brother. We hoping you come back stronger and better than ever before.
let me. Can I put a quick pin in that real quick,
Please do
Chad?
so, brother.
If we all know the legendary Roots Crew, since we're talking about hip hop, Biz Markie, the
Indeed.
legendary Roots Crew, you know, Black Thought, Questlove, those guys. One of their founding members, Malik B, passed away yesterday.
Yeah, he did. Yeah.
Yeah. If you know the early works before, you know, Malik stepped away from the Roots. If you know their early works, their first 3 albums, I think he was on their first 3. Well, he was on their first 3 albums. That he was a very pivotal part in, you know, blowing the Roots blowing up.
Mm-hmm.
He was part of that, and he passed away. I'm not sure of what. I never heard of what he passed away from, but he did pass away yesterday. So we want to condolences to his family and, you know, Black Thought and the Roots Crew. So I wanted to give that out.
Yeah, appreciate that.
Yeah.
Also, in entertainment news, ex-NBA superstar Shaq assists stranded Florida driver. In Gainesville, Florida, a woman whose car was left stranded along a Florida interstate while her tire blew out got a little unexpected help from former NBA star Shaquille O'Neal. O'Neal, who lives in the Orlando area, was traveling on Interstate 75 near Gainesville on Monday when he saw the woman pulled onto the side of the road. The Alachua County Sheriff's Office said on a Facebook post. So that's what happened to her. Her tire blew out. So Shaq apparently stayed with the woman until the deputies arrived. Excuse me. Until the deputies arrived on the scene. Excuse me.
Uh-oh.
I'm not gonna say it. It's not Corona. Don't start. In the video posted on Facebook, deputies thanked O'Neal for his assistance. The driver is heard telling deputies that the tire blew out, forcing her to pull over, and that Shaquille O'Neal stopped over to help. So after everything was over, Shaquille O'Neal bumped fists with the deputies before leaving. Yeah, he did a little fist bump. And so the deputies on their Facebook page said, hey, Basketball Cop Foundation, you're not the only one that knows Shaq. So I guess they feel like they know him now since they met him or whatever. But on to Black achievements. This is my favorite part. Boy, you stupid. 12-year-old launches tech initiative after being inspired by Black Panther. Black Panther continues to prove itself to be more than just another superhero flick, as the billion-dollar blockbuster inspired a 12-year-old boy from Minneapolis, Minnesota, into the world of tech. Now, he goes by the name DJ Comeaux, C-O-M-E-A-U-X. And y'all know in French that E-A-O-U-X is the O sound. So, DJ Comeaux. He launched a tech initiative. It's called Afrobot Boys. And it encourages young people of color to pursue careers in science, technology, engineering, and math. So a local TV station there, Fox 9, spoke with the preteen about the venture, who admitted one particular character from Black Panther that inspired him the most. He goes on to say, I wasn't inspired specifically by Black Panther, the superhero, but I was inspired by his sister, Shuri. He said she used to create all the designs and the technology, so I kind of really like that. And I wanted to boost the confidence of people that look like me to be more likely interested in being in robotics. So big ups to that the 12-year-old boy launching this initiative. I like that. And the inspiration is so dope, because even when a couple years back when I saw Black Panther, I'm like, Shuri is dope. They on some next level stuff. She's up there with Tony Stark, not to get too deep into the Marvel, because everybody may not follow, but her technology and what she was doing was right up there with Tony Stark, if not surpassed him.
No, it was surpassed Tony Stark, for sure.
You know, I wanted to give, okay, all right.
No, that's for sure.
But yeah, so big ups to my man for doing that, and I'm hoping that he's able to reach a lot of young people of color and put them in their STEAM programs so that they can be more active in the science, technology, engineering, and math area. So moving on, another Black achievement. I'm sure you've all heard by now, Miss Joy Reid on MSNBC makes her story, not his story, but her story with MSNBC's The Readout. Her father's from Congo and her mother's from Guyana. And she just so happens to be the first Black woman to host a primetime cable show. About damn time.
Yep.
That's all I'm gonna say. Celebrating her inaugural episode of MSNBC's The Readout, there were tears of joy as Reid, her husband, and a few friends held a Zoom watch party. Virtual guests in attendance included Al Sharpton, Angela Rye, April Ryan, Tamron Hall, Yvette Nicole Brown, Eric Alexander, Jackie Reid, Chris Witherspoon, and Jonathan Capehart. Reid spoke on the significance of representation in the media at this moment in our country. She goes on to say, I think it's important to have somebody who looks like you, who can empathize with what you feel, she says. The Readout show debuted with a powerhouse lineup featuring Hillary Clinton and Joe Biden. Biden spoke out potentially about making history with the help of a Black woman himself when the presumptive Democratic presidential nominee discussed his selection for a potential vice presidential candidate. Now, the article goes on to talk about what Biden said, but I don't want to discuss that. Not because I hate Biden, I don't, but because this article is about celebrating Joy Reid and her being a primetime host on a network cable show. However, Biden did mention that 4 of the people on his list that he's looking for a VP are Black women.
Yes, sir.
So that's what I have on the entertainment. Excuse me. That's what I have on the entertainment and Black achievements. It's always a pleasure. And remember, progress is what we do, and achievement is a lifestyle. How are you living?
All
Think
right
about
now.
Yes,
All
sir.
right. And so now we're going to leave you with a Bible verse of the week. And I'm coming from, I wish I had
Jesus
some verses
wept.
right now. I'm coming from 1 Peter chapter 5, verse 6. It's very simple, but yet very heavy. And it reads, "So humble yourselves under the mighty power of God, and at the right time, he will lift you up in honor." So don't be weary in doing well doing, for at the appointed time, he will put you, he will lift you up and honor you. So we shouldn't work to please man or society. We got to do what we've been called to do because we've been called to do it. And at the right time, God is going to elevate us and put us right where we need to be. Not in your time, but in his time.
That's what Shirley Caesar said here. On time God now.
Yes, he is.
On time God. Yes, he is.
Sing it, Pastor.
They're not come when you want them.
But he'll be there right on time.
He's an on time God. Yes, he
Yes, he
is.
is. But then you got the little old man in the back with the high voice. He on time, God.
Hey, Mike. Hey, Mike.
Yeah.
Yes, he is. The doors of the church is open.
Yes, sir. Just pass the plate.
Oh, gosh.
All right, folks, that's our show for this week. Thank you for tuning in to Our Voice 360.
Yes,
Our
sir.
perspectives, our way. Be blessed, be safe. We out.
Peace.
If you enjoyed this podcast, be sure to like and subscribe to the channel so you can be notified when a new show drops. Please rate and review this podcast and share it with your friends. Also, if you'd like to advertise or become a sponsor, please send an email to ourvoice360@gmail.com with your inquiry. We'll connect with you as soon as possible in hopes of creating a great partnership. And as always, thank you for tuning in to Our Voice 360. Our perspectives, our way, keeping you in the know while you're on the go. See you next week.